I burnt my tongue last night. So
How did you manage that?
basically, these like pasta packets, and you've got to put like water from the kettle in, and then put it in the microwave.
Right.
I kind of ate it too quick, and like
Oh,
There is no worse feeling than burning your tongue.
No.
I hate burning my tongue.
woke up
worst.
this morning and it was rough.
It's a weird feeling you get afterwards. Well, not like the burning feeling, but the one afterwards, where like, it just feels weird.
What a conversation we're having.
I know. Well, this is, even like when you accidentally bite your tongue.
Oh, it's horrible.
Horrible. Absolutely horrible. And well, on that note, welcome to the Gold Show, and welcome to the Blue Podcast Network. This is episode 20. Today, of course, we're talking about Premier League football. We've got Liam, Matt, and Kian all here to talk about their own teams. And where shall we get started? Where do you boys think
Not here.
the biggest part of the weekend was? Well, as you've said, not here. I'm going to go straight to you, Matt. Just to get started, of course. Leicester City losing again. It's looking pretty bleak right now for the Foxes.
I think it's the 7th in a row now.
7 in a
I
row.
think it's 7 in a row. I mean, we have played some hard teams in that run. We've played Liverpool away, City at home, Villa away. I can't remember who else. But we've had some easy games as well, which we should have got stuff from. I said before the game week, I'm not sure if I said it on here or just if I said it, but I said we needed 4 points from Palace and Fulham. We got 0.
Yeah.
It's not looking good. It's not Van Nistelrooy's fault necessarily. I'm not sure I'm convinced by him yet, but it's mainly on the players, I think. None of them look like they care anymore. I think they kind of just accept that they're going down, and they all know they'll get moves away. So they're not really trying for the badge anymore. There's been a lot of questions about the ownership because we're not spending any money, and that's maybe because of FFP, but they've put us in that situation, and they never should have done, because they basically spent too much money when we were doing well. That meant that if we did start to struggle, as we did in 22-23, there was no kind of backup for that. And we were just going to end up struggling. And I could see us being the next Leeds or Derby stuck in a championship, maybe even dropping to League One for a season, because we're so badly financially mismanaged. It's just going to get worse.
This is the issue with FFP, but it's not like you've not sold anyone, though.
No.
Like, you've sold Fofana, you sold Dewsbury Hall, you got big money for them, but still FFP is like...
Yeah.
That's why the whole system of it is awful.
There was one season, which I think was the season before we went down. We didn't sell any big players, because every year before that we'd sold a big player. So we sold Fofana the year we went down, and the year before that I think it was Maguire or someone else. And we've always made a big sale, but that summer we didn't sell anyone major, and we just bought players. And then because it's a 3-year cycle, that year for the last 3 years has been an issue on FFP. And that's why we haven't spent any money in the last 3 years, really.
I mean, on the bright side, you get a parachute fund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we might get a transfer embargo anyway.
No.
So
Yeah, the EFL have like issues with you as well.
I could see us getting relegated down to League One if we go down eventually.
Wow.
I think it's going to get worse. But there's apparently protests planned against our ownership, because not necessarily to get them out, but to tell them to wake up, because they're not managing the situation well.
Right.
And this is the second time this has happened in 3 years. It shouldn't have happened in the first place. It shouldn't be happening again. And you can call our fans entitled, but it's not an entitlement of saying, well, we should be up this year, because if we were giving everything and we just didn't have the ability to stay up, fair enough. But it's not that. It's that we're not spending money either. We're not showing any ambition. We've accepted our fate, and that's what fans are against.
Yeah. I want to bring it back quickly to you saying the players are down tools. I do not watch a lot of Leicester City, but you guys are only 2 points off of 17th place Wolves. So for you to say that,
we're rubbish.
That must be pretty like damning, because you were so close to being out of the relegation zone.
Yeah, it's still close down there, but it doesn't mean we look like we're going to win any games anytime soon. I mean, we've got Spurs away. That's a mouth-watering fixture at this point in the season with how badly they're doing, but I've got no optimism for it. I should be thinking to that game, this is really exciting, this could be a chance to play ourselves back into form. But all I can see is Spurs winning that game 3 or 4-0.
Yeah,
I don't think Spurs played too bad against Arsenal either.
No, but it's the fact that it's you have to break that chain of losses, I think, and they've still lost to you. Like, even if they've played well, they've still got that chain of losses, and it's the morale. But obviously both teams have that issue at the moment. I can't see us winning any games anytime soon. I don't see who we beat, other than maybe Ipswich or Southampton.
Right.
I think what Leicester you're kind of hoping on now is Wolves selling Cunha. Like,
Yeah, that would be good.
That's the only way I think you can stay up at this rate. And even then, you've got to get past Ipswich, who
I think Ipswich are better than us.
Ipswich had a quality January transfer window. I don't know if you've seen they're bringing in Enciso from Brighton.
I'm not sold on their January window, to be honest. I don't.
Philogene great.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how much he actually improves them. I'm not sure it's the right signing because he's a player who's young with really great potential, who in a few years will be a really, really top player. At the moment, yeah, he's good and he's exciting, but is he what you need in a relegation battle? I'm not quite sold on that. I wouldn't have. I'd have loved it if we signed him because we need a winger, but I wouldn't have thought that that's going to set the world alight. You need someone who's established now, who's maybe not the best player in the game, but someone who's got experience in this situation and knows how to handle it. That's kind of what I think you need now.
Right. Would you say it's becoming a bit of a toxic atmosphere at the King Power
100%.
Stadium? Because I saw that Ruud van Nistelrooy made a substitution and the stadium was chanting at him, "You don't know what you're doing."
Yeah, I mean, people haven't turned on Ruud. People don't want him gone. Like, people aren't saying that. It was just making the point that we were bringing off our best creative outlet, Bilal El Khanous, and bringing on Casey McAteer for the right wing. Now, what position do you see Jordan Ayew as?
I see him right winger.
Yeah.
Yeah, most likely.
Right
I mean,
winger.
he
Right winger, or
works
maybe
incredibly hard.
At a stretcher striker. He's playing an attacking midfielder. He brought Casey
Yeah.
McAteer on and moved Ayew to attacking midfielder. We got Buonanotte on the bench, who's much better than Ayew. Why El Khanous was bought off for him, I will never know. But if Buonanotte had come on in place of El Khanous, no one would have had an issue.
Is he not starting, Buonanotte?
No, because apparently Ayew is more important. But whilst
Buonanotte's impressed me every time I've watched Leicester. Buonanotte's been really
exactly, and that's what all our fans are saying. I'm not sold that he is as good as people say he is, because people are saying the fact he's not starting is like basically a crime by Van Nistelrooy and it's rubbish. But I don't think it is necessarily. I think he's got attitude issues. He's got booked in almost every game he's played for us, and when he has a bad start to a game, he doesn't get into it at all. But the fact that we bought off our one creative player and didn't bring on our other creative player, that's an issue. But people aren't against him. They were singing that is embarrassing to the players, because it is. The way they were playing, like 2-0 down and they're not even trying to get a goal back. It's embarrassing. And again, as I said, there were chants about the ownership, which I think are justified at this point, because fans have had enough. They've seen enough. There's no ambition anymore, as there used to be at the club.
Right. Well, I do want to move on, and I want to move on to Keane's team, Nottingham Forest, the 3-2 victory against Southampton. And
Very contrasting.
A little bit scary at the end. Let's put it that way, to dropping points.
Obviously 3-0 up at half time. First half played brilliant. Second half we just got complacent. And I said to everyone in our group chat after the game, I came out really disappointed and it felt like we lost, even though we won. But especially against Southampton as well, you'd think at 3-0 you're just going to go on, blitz them in the second half, get our goal difference up, which is
or even just kill the game.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think Anthony Taylor helped. I don't know if you've seen some of the decisions from the game.
I've not seen them, but I've heard about them.
Flynn Down should have been sent off.
Yes, I saw that.
Oh, I did see that one. I did see that one.
That was an outrageous decision. I could not believe he stayed.
How any ref can not see that, and then how VAR can't correct it afterwards.
That's GBH outside of football. It is. Like, I mean, you get a night in the cell if you do that in the public.
I guess so, probably.
Exactly. Yeah. But no. Also, I think that fourth goal from Milenkovic getting ruled off was stupid. I don't know why that's been ruled off. Apparently, Wood's interfering with play when he's not.
Right.
And if he has interfered with play, Ramsdale still caught it, but he's thrown the ball into his own net.
That rule doesn't make sense at all, though. It doesn't, because it's so inconsistent. It never goes the same way.
I mean, he's gone up for the ball, but he's not touched it or anything. It's a baffling decision. But no, I'm happy we got the 3 points, but I am starting to think our squad depth might not be good enough, because especially out wide, because Jota Silva I just don't rate at all. I thought
really,
yeah,
because you did at the start of the season.
Him, but he's one of them players. He's got bite, he's got passion, but he's just not got quality. He's just always gives away fouls, and I think if we are going to get into Europe or even the Champions League, for example, we need better depth. And I like Ramon Sousa. I like the kind of project with him because he's a young Paraguayan winger, so I'm willing to give him time. But Jota's an experienced player. I think we just need a bit more than that for squad depth-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I've questioned about you, whether... this is why I don't know where you'll finish, because if you get an injury to a key player, who can come in and fill their shoes?
It depends where, though, because obviously Elliot Anderson got his first goal.
Your midfield depth's
For
good,
Forest,
yeah.
yeah.
But in the wings and up front...
And if Gibbs White got injured, Anderson can go into that role, we'll be fine. But like you said, if Wood gets injured, we are in trouble because Awani, he's not good enough anymore.
Or even Hudson-Odoi or Elanga, if they got injured, who can you bring in on the wing?
I like Sousa, but so I don't mind him, but Jota Silva, no.
Right.
But no. I do want to say a word on Anderson, though. He's got to be one of the signings of the season.
Yeah, for me, he's the most underrated player in the Premier League. I don't hear him be
The
spoken
most?
about. Yeah, the most underrated player in the
reckon?
league. I've barely heard any sort of talk about him
So-
apart from Nottingham Forest fans saying how good he's been.
He's a perfect
He's been
number 8.
superb. He's been brilliant.
He's a perfect number 8, and it's like that transition from defence into attack, a lot of it's down to him, and he's so good at both ends, going forward and defensively. And in fact, it's like a 15 million, 35 million, whatever you want to call it, a deal. If it is 15 million, that's a steal.
Yeah.
He's an unbelievable player, and like I've said on the pod before, I think he will play for England. I think he's that good.
Yeah, I
Wow.
mean, there is a little bit of lack of quality, maybe you could say, in the midfield position right now. There is a space that's open alongside Declan Rice, isn't there? Could that be a position that Elliot Anderson could fill?
He suits that role perfectly because when he first came in, we were playing him more out wide because he can play there, and then playing him in attacking midfield when Gibbs White was suspended or injured. But that number 8 role, he's just perfect. He's so good, and I love watching him every week.
Yeah.
And if we get into Champions League, him and obviously Milenkovic are a big reason why we've had that transformation.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I do worry about for you, which I've said a few times to certain people, is that I worry that if you end up in the Champions League, you could end up like us in a few years, because I feel like any team at the moment that struggles, that challenges the Big Six, then struggles a few seasons later.
I wouldn't say in a case of getting relegated because
We're not relegated, maybe,
I
but
think
financial trouble.
I think our owner, he's just so ambitious, and it's like one of them. I don't think he's going to mess up that badly as much as the lesser owners have done. I think will we drop off? Probably, especially next season. I wouldn't be surprised.
Don't hand out big contracts.
if
That's
it's
the
a
mistake we made.
Well, obviously Murillo signed a new contract, and
Do you know how much he's on?
No. But Chris Wood, I think he's actually agreed a new contract now. That got put out last night, and then Olainen needs a new contract because he's out of contract in the summer.
Yeah.
And then I think we need to get Gibbs White and Hudson-Odoi tied down as well, if we can.
I mean, would you rather make Champions League this season and have like a mid-season next season, or like just not make Champions League, maybe make Europa League or Conference League, but have like a similar kind of form?
Ooh,
That's a good question.
that
I
is
like
a
that
very
question.
good
Yeah.
question. I think thing is, it's like I've said this, seeing Forest in the Champions League instead of the Europa League, it's totally different because you're seeing your team play your Real Madrids, your Barcelonas.
You think that helps the squad, or is that just like a novelty for fans?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if it matters, because I'd agree with that, because having seen both now, the Champions League is just so different.
Oh, it
like
is.
you can't compare anything to seeing your team in the Champions League.
No, 100%. I mean, I've
Mate.
been very fortunate to see Liverpool in, I think 7 of the last 8
I've only seen
Champions
us in
Leagues.
once.
Like, you know.
But
so-
we didn't even play any big teams. I mean,
Yeah.
we played Atletico Madrid, but that's the biggest team we played. There's a lot bigger teams in Europe. They are a big club, but we could have played Madrid or like Real Madrid or Barcelona or Bayern Munich. But even playing those teams,
Well, especially with the
it's
new
incredible.
format.
Yeah, I was about to say the new format. Like
Yeah.
you have a bigger chance of playing a big team, and I'm used to us playing Stoke City. Stoke City, your Charlton Athletics, your Wigan Athletics. I'm used to that.
Yeah.
Not Real Madrid and Barcelona. If we're doing that next season,
Yeah.
my bank account will get ruined, absolutely ruined. But I think I can take it.
I think another team that would be crazy to see in the Champions League. Can you imagine like Real Madrid going to the Vitality Stadium?
They've already done it.
Yeah, I know. Ronaldo broke a fan's arm, but like.
Oh yeah, like a proper game.
But can
yeah.
you imagine like teams like coming from like the Allianz Arena to the Vitality Stadium.
Must be quite a
Brilliant.
down to earth like experience.
Oh,
for them.
it'd be unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. I do want to move on now to your team, Liam. Of course, dropping points in the title
Dropping
race.
points, it's not looking ideal. Conceding twice in 8 minutes is not what we need, but we did score first for once, so that's a lovely change. We normally just concede first, then come back, but I just don't think we got the firepower. We normally just dominate the ball, go into the final third, cross it to Kai Havertz, and he has no idea what to do with it. Kai Havertz, great. I think he's a cam. I think we discovered that now. No finishing product, absolutely none. And now we have Jesus injured. It's even more cooked. I think one more injury, we're in a lot of trouble. We're not looking to sign a striker at the moment. Obviously, there's rumours, but once I see pen to paper, that's when I'll be hopeful. But
I think you go out for Cunha because I think he'll leave Wolves now this January. And I've said in the past, Cunha's a perfect fit for Arsenal.
I think so too.
And he's got that finishing aspect that Havertz hasn't.
I know. The last time we had a proper striker was Aubameyang, probably.
I wanna ask you right then, because you said Havertz doesn't have any real finishing ability. I've heard people have said the same about Martinelli and other players in your attack. Who does have finishing ability for you then?
Well, at the moment, no one. That's our problem. You saw that against United in the FA Cup. Awful game to watch. We saw it against like Tottenham. We basically got gifted the goal because their keeper was appalling that game. But here it was more like, oh no, we tried to hold them off and then they just completely went through us. That's the thing that's the problem. Teams can just run through us at the moment. Like when Tottenham tried, they ran through us. Like when we haven't got the ball, we just don't sit back and get it back. We kind of just build the pressure on us and we concede. It's a problem. And being so reliant on Saka and now he's injured, we kind of just, I don't think Arteta knows what to do. He's normally like, pass Saka, he'll do something. But now we've lost Saka, it's kind of just looking like we were kind of getting carried by him a little bit. But it's not like we drew to the worst team. Villa is not like the worst.
No, they're good. Yeah, they're really good.
So it's not like, I've seen people saying Arteta needs to get sacked for this. I don't get it. Very reactionary fans. But
There's been a lot of injuries for Arsenal, of course, this season. How would you sum the season up? Because out of the FA Cup, looks like you're pretty much out the Carabao Cup unless you turn it around. It'd be unbelievable. So to score 3 goals at St James's Park in one game and not concede any, and then of course the Premier League. I can't see Arsenal finding the consistency to keep up with Liverpool. To be totally honest, it's not me being biased. I just think that's me. Genuinely, whenever I watch Arsenal, they have one good game and then they drop off. Then they have another good game and then they drop off. There's been sort of been happening a lot. I feel like the past month and a bit.
I mean, one thing that I don't see enough people talking about is where were we when Arteta started? We weren't in the Champions League. We were like finishing. I think we finished like something like 8th or 7th.
Yes,
Banter era Arsenal.
I know,
Yeah.
and now we're like, this season's not much of a title challenge, but 2 seasons ago, title challenge, bottled it. Last season, title challenge. We're getting where we need to be. I think we're just a few signings away from where we actually are the threat and where we can win the league. But what Arteta has done so far is good. It's just, is he the man to take us to trophies? That's the discussion we need to start having now.
Yeah, I think you probably. I'd say for Arsenal to give him another season, take him to next season and see what happens. And if there are no injuries, and then there is no trophies again, what is that? Would that be 6 seasons? Would it be in and an FA Cup to show for it? Considering Arsenal have spent a good amount of money, like a lot of money. I think we're talking almost 700 million. I want to say in total.
Around that.
It's been a lot of money spent.
In a way, you can see Arsenal have been unlucky in a way because how good Liverpool have been this season.
Yeah.
Because obviously Liverpool have only lost 1 game in the league. But yeah, any other season, I think they'd be top right now. Even when City, obviously last few years, I don't even think they were as good as Liverpool has been, have they?
I think we've been.
They never start well though. To be fair, City.
No, I think we have been impressive. Liverpool definitely. I think as you said, 1 loss in the league. I think 5 draws in the league this season.
Who was that one loss to, Lloyd?
The 1 loss was to Nottingham Forest. So fair enough, fair play. Taking 4 points off of us this season, very annoying. But even still, 5 draws at this stage of the season. Liverpool get 3 more draws. It'd be like. That would be 8. That usually happened under Jurgen Klopp, and we didn't really usually win the league. So we're probably going to look at like a 90-point season this
It's not going
this
to be
year.
as,
A
it's
little
not
bit
gonna be
like
as
no
much.
85 to 90s.
Yeah.
It won't be 90 plus. I'd be very surprised if Liverpool got 95 points come the end of the season. So really, it's not been as like good a quality
And also-
from Liverpool, but I think that's also the league's got tougher, as we said,
Yeah.
said on
Yeah.
the previous show last week. The league's got a lot more difficult over the last few years. It's slowly progressing to be more difficult. Any team can pretty much take any points against anyone apart from Southampton, really. Apart from that, the majority of teams, they will put up a bit of a fight. But I do want to move on to Liverpool because I've got to talk about it. Darwin Núñez, what an impact. I mean, unbelievable. 2 goals off from the bench. I don't know if he's the man to be the striker for Liverpool, but he scored the most away goal stoppage time winners in Premier League history.
Really?
No player
Don't
has
even
done
dare.
more,
Don't even dare.
scored more stoppage time
Oh yeah,
winners.
he did one against
away
Yeah,
from
he
Chelsea.
did
home.
last year.
He did, yeah.
Of all players though, to come on and score 2 goals, you would not expect it to be that man, would you?
Oh,
no.
You'd expect him to fluff his lines.
Well,
and hit over the bar.
he took the chances really well. The second goal's a brilliant finish. One touch and he just lashes it into the roof of the net. And like the first goal, I mean, it is a tap in. Trent Alexander-Arnold, another assist for him. I'm sick of this narrative that like he has one bad game and then people say, oh, he's having an awful season. He's not playing well. He's best right back in the league. He is. He is. Like, his creative output,
Definitely
what he
ability-wise.
does. Yeah, it's just great. And I don't know necessarily whether he gets the credit he deserves on like consistently throughout the season. Like obviously Darwin Núñez off from the bench, man of the match, getting 2 goals. What more do you want? But we had 37 shots in that game.
Did you?
That's more that I think since the statistics started away from home, that's the most shots a team away from home's had.
Well, especially surprising since Brentford have been so good defensively. If you've broken them down
Have
that
they?
many times, I think they have.
I wouldn't say they
No.
have. Been.
I think they have, but
No.
they are a team that says we will outscore you, but they have done well at home defensively.
they've-
I think
no,
that's
well,
why they're
no,
winning at
I'm
home.
inclined to disagree.
You think?
Because, all their games, it's like 4-3, 5-3, 3-2.
Not as much recently though.
I know, but they've been
They've
losing.
kept-
They've been losing games.
They've kept like a lot of good scoring teams quiet. Is more my point. They may not be a team that keeps clean sheets, but
Well,
they
you're
are
saying-
good defensively against top
You're saying they
teams.
just kind of hold them down until they slip up, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
I do want to get back onto that Núñez topic. I saw a stat the other day of his goals and assists record at Liverpool. It's actually quite good. I don't know how many it was in how many games. He's actually got a good record when you look at it.
It's not bad. This season has been okay. The year before, last season was his best season. I think he got 11 goals, 9 assists in the league, which was a decent return. But the frustrating thing is that could have been
20.
We're talking 30 goal contributions in the
And I
league.
think the
It's
price tag as
so
well.
many. Yeah, of course the price tag. But I think now it's almost making me think that after those 2 goals, I've been saying maybe it might be best for him to move on. It's almost making me think maybe we just put the price tag out of just leave that to leave that to the side, because he comes on and he as I said, he's won us I think 3 games off from the bench. When he starts, does he necessarily do as well? Not.
I was going to
he's
say,
not
do you
consistent
see
enough.
him more as an impact sub?
Probably,
then,
yeah.
than a
I think more as
starter?
an impact sub now. I think that's probably where his best qualities lie for Liverpool.
Well, I think
coming off from the bench.
I think in our game last week, I think you're crying out for Núñez, and if Núñez was not fit, but you know what I mean, available that's what it
yeah.
was. I think Núñez wins that game for you against us.
Potentially.
You're crying out for someone you just cross the ball.
Or is
to.
that just PTSD from last season?
Well, no, I
before?
get PTSD from Diogo Jota coming on. Anyway,
But yeah, no, he was unbelievable last week. But of course, he's injured again. He's out for a couple more weeks.
Scores 1 goal, gets injured.
Yeah,
It's the same regime.
It's so frustrating. But no, it was great to see Harvey Elliott come on. I've been calling to get get more minutes. He deserves more minutes. He comes on, he gets the assist for the second goal. Chiesa involved a lot as well, and Virgil van Dijk at the back is just the Rolls Royce, as we say. Like he's been so consistent. There's been barely any games where I think I've come off thinking, oh yeah, he's not had a good game.
I can't think
today.
of a better description of a Rolls Royce centre back at the moment than Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah.
I don't
he's
think
just-
that,
he's
I think
so
he
calm.
is the Rolls Royce centre
Yeah.
back.
I don't think there's any striker that looks like Van Dijk and be like, yeah, I'm gonna take him on.
No.
No.
No, the amount of times like players have been running one-on-one with him over the years and then have just turned around and gone,
Yeah.
no, we're not doing that. We're
Well, I'm
going to
gonna
keep
run
the
to the
ball.
side.
We're going to keep the ball. But yeah, no, unbelievable. And the fact that Liverpool were able to get that win, that's a game that wins your titles. That
I
like
agree,
late
yeah.
on, last minute winners. You know, I remember when we ended up winning the league in the 2019-2020 season. We were 1-0 down against Aston Villa in the 87th minute. Robertson and Mane scored two goals, turned it around to win 2-1. And, you know, at the time, that was a massive win. Obviously, we went on and ran away with it. But that's the sort of games that will win you the stuff. Obviously, beating the big teams is great. But if you could get points away from home at the Emirates, at the Etihad, stuff like that, you're more than putting yourself in a good position to win the league. It's actually beating the teams lower down the table on a consistent basis, because under Klopp a few times over the years, we dropped points to teams in the relegation zone.
Burnley.
Like, yeah, you know, teams like Burnley. I remember West Brom we dropped points to one year. Fulham, I think it was. We lost 2 at home when we lost 6 in a row, and then we drew away from home in the earlier part of the season. It's just moments like that.
It's always like, you know, when you have a list of 5 games and like,
Yeah.
you have like 3 tough teams
Mhm.
and you have like the one team you overlook. That's always the team you kind of slip up against.
Yeah. The one team I did want to ask, you're talking about teams lower down. Do Spurs need to sack Ange?
No.
I think it's
I don't think so
I
either.
think it's such a difficult situation for him.
They'll take a Carabao
The-
Cup and run with it.
Yeah, I mean, if they win a trophy out of this season, it's unbelievable.
I mean,
Oh, he's done
Like,
better than any manager who's been there in the last
exactly.
15 or so
It's
years.
unbelievable
Not-
if they win something.
not even like Pep could do good with. I like Archie Gray a lot, but Archie Gray and Dragusin at centre back, you're gonna struggle.
Yeah, I agree.
Calvert-Lewin did turn Archie Gray inside out.
Gray,
You know,
Gray,
he's not a centre
Gray
back.
isn't a centre back.
He's not a centre
He's
back.
a midfielder or
No.
right back. And
It makes me feel sorry for him
See-
because he's been put into this position at like 18 years of
I
age.
I don't think he should be sacked, but I do think if they lose to us on the weekend, I think he will be.
Yeah.
I don't see them
it'd be
keeping us
very
if we beat
harsh,
them.
I think.
Well, yeah, but we've not won in 7 games. If they lost to us at home, I think there's a strong chance he'd be
They're
sacked.
not
I think
sacking
it'd be
him.
unfair. It'd be really unfair, but
They're
I
not
think they
sacking him
would.
before a semi-final.
No.
Well, they sacked
they sacked
Mourinho
Mourinho before final.
before a final.
Yeah.
Oh,
What-
that's true.
who would you place Ange with? That's
Ryan Mason's 3rd interim spell.
I mean,
there's not really anyone.
yeah.
The
I
only
think
one-
you would have to look
Iraola maybe, but
look
is he
abroad.
gonna leave?
Iraola would not go to Tottenham.
Exactly,
No.
he's not going to leave Bournemouth.
But I do think he'll be at risk if he loses to us next
Oh
Sunday.
yeah, 100%. That is
A
a
big risk.
must-win game for Tottenham. You know, even you could argue even against Everton. You know, I mean, be 3-0 down at half time. I know they pulled it back to 3-2.
I mean, in the form table at the moment, we are the worst team in the top 5 leagues in Europe, and we are the 2nd worst team in all leagues across Europe.
yeah,
If you don't win that game, you kind of have to ask questions.
yeah.
I just like Ange as a manager. I know he hasn't really got a plan B because it's very high pressing kind of stuff, but I can understand why the fans are frustrated because the club are 14th in the league, is it?
It is 15th now.
15th. I can understand why, but because of their injury crisis, especially at the back, that's if they had Romero and Van de Ven fit the whole season,
Right.
they'd be.
When
they'd
is
be
one of
top
them
half.
back?
Oh,
Does
actually,
anyone
not
know?
even sure.
I think it might be next month. So they could be back for the second leg against
That's a
Liverpool.
while away though. That
But,
is still a long
yeah,
time.
I just Ange Postecoglou, you know, he's got a style of play. They've actually, you know, when they were top of the table on that run, they had more points then than they have the entirety of this season
Wow.
in the opening 10
Is
games.
it not slightly on Ange though, the injuries to Van der Ven and Romero, because both of them were back at a point and he rushed them back
Yeah, he
in,
rushed them
and
back.
then
Yeah.
they got injured again. Is that not slightly on him?
Yeah, it probably
say
is.
so.
It's probably also on the medical staff as well. You know, if they said that they were ready to come back and play, you know, then that could potentially be on them as well. I don't think the transfer window was good enough for them either. Looking back at it, you know, obviously bringing in Dominic Solanke. I mean, he scored a few goals, but you know,
Did
maybe
Bergvall not come in this window as well?
Bergvall
He looks
came
a
in
player.
Yeah, Bergvall looks a good player. Looks a decent player. So does Archie Gray. But again, They're two 18-year-olds. I think Odeberg came in from Burnley in the summer as well.
Injured.
He's been injured the majority of the time. Like, you look at those players, was it 3 of them are under 20 or 21, I think it is. There's not a lot of experience there. And, you know, don't get me wrong, Bergvall and Gray, they seem like they're going to be some really good players for the future. But as of right now, you know, Tottenham's transfer window wasn't good enough.
They're facing relegation battle.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put them in
They're
that.
facing it.
Seriously,
they're facing
though,
a situation of a
If they
relegation
lose to
battle.
us, we're 4 points behind them.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. They are
Well,
getting close.
This is why it's a must-win game for
Can
Tottenham.
you
'cause
imagine
of-
that stadium in the Championship?
Well, yeah.
But this is the thing. They have to question Ange, because if he's 4 points off of relegation if they lose to us, that is, at a club like Tottenham, that is a sackable offence, surely.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
late into the season.
Yeah, it's getting to the stage where, like, Levy, I think, at the board, they see how many injuries and they want to be patient. But if Leicester do go to the Tottenham Hotspur
It's not
Stadium and
happening
win,
anyway, though. We talk about this like there's even a possibility of it
well,
happening.
honestly,
there's a
you never
chance.
know. You know, you
thing
look
is, you won't find a more polarised fan base at the moment than Tottenham. I don't think there's so many fans who want him out, and there's so many fans who want him to stay.
yeah, it's very split.
It's so split.
But then again, a lot of the Tottenham fans now, they just say, I don't really feel anything when I'm watching Tottenham at this point. Like,
I'm the same. Like,
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's modern football really at the moment for a lot of clubs. Unless your club's doing well, like your club is doing, and your club at top of the table.
yeah.
But if you were just, I don't know, you were just third and City were winning the league again, would you feel much?
I mean, it would be in the top 4 race, you know, trying to get Champions League. I think that was Liverpool's aim coming into this season, really. I didn't put them in the title race. I said we'd be top 3, but I didn't think we'd be competing. So the fact that, you know, we are top of the table, it makes it even that much better. But yeah, as for Ange, he's not got a lot of time left. If he loses that, I think that will be that. I do want to talk about Manchester United losing 3-1 at home to Brighton and Hove Albion 3 years in a row, by the way. They've
Wow, I
lost
didn't
at
know
home to them at Old Trafford. It's becoming a little bit of a common theme for
I
Brighton.
can't lie. The thing that makes me happiest about it is that one guy on Instagram who was saying United were undefeated in 2025. He can shut up now.
Yeah.
He annoyed me so much, especially after that FA Cup game. I was so happy to watch it.
And especially after the Southampton game, they were 1-0 down all game. And let's be honest, Amad Diallo was class, but should they have won that game? Not really.
Well,
They got very lucky to win that game.
The last 15
He
minutes,
did come in and score a hat
Manchester,
trick.
yeah, the last 15 minutes, Manchester United, you know, created the chances, and Ahmad put them away. But Sulemana could have had a few.
That's
that
what I
game,
mean. Like
couldn't he?
they
He could
easily
have
could
had
have
a few.
been well away. In
Oh yeah,
their
100%.
20th place. Like I thought watching that game, I was thinking, yeah, United maybe undefeated in 2025, but they shouldn't be.
Yeah, I mean, another player that Newcastle United sold in the summer, Yankuba Minter, goal and an assist. What a performance from him. Karu Matoma also getting a goal and an assist. Brighton, I think that's back-to-back league wins now for them.
8 unbeaten, I think now.
Yeah, because they
They were on the rut, weren't they? They were
well, they
struggling.
drew at home to Southampton, and I think they were dropping points against lots of
They
teams
dropped
lower
points
down
against
the
us.
table. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, but that's it's a big win for them. Puts them up to 9th. I mean, they're 3 points off of 7th place Bournemouth. You know, this league's so entertaining right now. Anything can
Brighton show
happen.
up the most when they're against United and Chelsea. They're the two teams I think of when Brighton like properly show up.
Right.
Well, Chelsea's become a slight rivalry with them because of the players they've lost to Chelsea over the years. A bit like us with Chelsea. They don't like each other at the moment really because of all the players they've lost. I think
yeah.
they kind of are always going to be up for that game because of that. I
Yeah.
think same with us when we played Chelsea.
Yeah, I also did see Jorginho Rutter. He scored on the weekend, of course, and he got asked if he was good, if he would move to Manchester United. And his one word answer: no.
Yeah, well, I think he's correct. I don't think
You don't
any
you
player.
don't go to a club below you.
Huh?
Don't go to a club below you after that.
No, but I think any player just going to Man United, even big money now these days, it's a wrong decision.
Well,
Yeah.
this is
When was the last time United properly developed signing into some, like, had a very good signing? It's probably Bruno.
I was going to say
Yeah.
you could argue Bruno Fernandes is
But
probably the
that-
best.
Have they had one?
Did they
since?
sign Diallo or did he come to the youth system?
Ahmad Diallo was.
He looks like
he was signed. He
be
was signed from
developed.
Atalanta.
Hmm.
He's going to be developed well, I think.
Yeah, well, he's getting better and better, isn't he? You know, you can see that.
I think
See
their
that with him.
squad's getting better, but it's not good enough for a team of their caliber.
No, well, Ruben Amorim was apparently very upset
You
afterwards.
cannot say what he said.
He's
Seriously.
flipping tables.
Yeah, he was very upset. He said, didn't he? This is the worst Manchester United side in history.
I really don't think a manager should be saying that about their team. I know he's including himself in that, saying my Man United team is the worst one there's ever been. But how's that going to feel to the players? Like they've just lost the game 3-1. They're already annoyed enough with themselves.
I think he has every right to say it.
But is that not going to damage morale? If your manager's coming out and saying that, think how you're going to feel as a player.
I think he's trying to trying to fuel the
motivate
team,
them.
trying to motivate them.
Potentially,
I think that's a motivational.
It depends
thing for
how
him.
the dressing room works. I guess if it is one of those dressing rooms that you need the manager to come out and say you're all rubbish, you need to improve because it's not good enough, then fair enough. But if I was in a team and my manager was saying that about our team, it's just going to ruin my morale. I'm just going to think, well, I don't want to play for you anymore.
Well, I think I mean, it depends. It depends because, you know, as you said, you could look at it the way that you're looking at it, or you can look at it the other way, that it's motivation for the players, and it could potentially give them a little bit more fight to try and prove him wrong and try and get the results. Because, as you said, the Southampton game, they won the game. Was it a good performance? No. The game against Arsenal, I mean, Arsenal should have been clear. Yeah,
6xG,
really,
wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they should have been clear.
We actually could have won that game 7-0 if we wanted.
And the match against Liverpool, I think we had a better XG. Like, we should have scored more than we did in that game in the end. So
I do think that's the best game United have had this season, though. That Liverpool game, it's the only game they've actually played well in, I'd say.
Because they held onto the ball well, and they looked like, oh, you know what, this could be the start of something for them. But it's going to be a long way back for Manchester United, that's for sure. Bournemouth 4-1 against Newcastle United.
What a result for them.
What a victory that is. They've got so many injuries at the moment. I mean, they've got Lewis Cook playing right back. They've got Ouattara playing up top. You know, both their strikers out. Their bench is one of the most inexperienced Premier League benches I think I've ever seen. The majority of the players, no offence to them, they're probably great prospects. But I had never heard. I didn't know the majority of the names on the bench. That's so impressive from those group of players to be able to go to St James's Park and get a 4-1 win.
There is one player from Bournemouth I really want to talk about. I don't know how to actually pronounce it. Hudson, centre back.
Heisen, I think it is. I looked it up. I looked it up the other week. It's Heisen, I think.
He's
really good.
Isn't he 17 years old?
19
like
years
that,
of age.
And he's unbelievable.
He wouldn't look out of place in any big club, I don't think.
Well,
Pogba Isaac.
He was at a big club in the summer. He was at Juventus.
Yeah.
They've underused him, clearly. That is a bad sell by them.
Yeah.
He made his debut against us at the start of the season, and he just looks like he's been playing for years.
Yeah.
In a way, it's similar to Murillo in some aspects.
He's been exceptional.
As you said, he pocketed Isak. I was quite glad about that because I was getting worried about Vardy's record again because he was on number 8.
He
but
was.
It is interesting. No player since he broke it has got past 8 goals. Because Salah's got to 8 twice.
Yeah.
He's never been able to go past that, and it does show how impressive that record is.
Oh, it's a very impressive record, 100%.
Do you think it ever gets broken?
Yeah.
Probably
reckon?
probably at some stage. Records are always there to be broken, so I think it will happen. The one Premier League record that I probably think won't be broken is Chelsea's conceding 15 goals.
The Invincibles.
No, that won't ever be broken.
I mean, the Invincibles. Who knows?
No time soon.
Who
But
knows?
I
I think it's more. I think the Invincibles is more likely than the team conceding 15 league goals. I mean, that's a joke.
I mean,
15
Liverpool
in
could
a
have gone invincible this season.
Yeah, if it wasn't for your team.
Yeah.
But
no,
we'll probably lose another game.
we
So.
should have a counter how many times he can bring up beating Liverpool.
I've spent obviously I live in Bournemouth, so I think Christmas. I've not seen this town happier ever.
Yeah.
They're so optimistic.
Oh, I bet they are. They've got an unbelievable manager.
They're getting a new stadium. They might get into Champions League or at least Europa League. Like it's their first ever season in Europe.
Kluivert's second hat trick of the season.
Yes, second hat trick.
I know we talk about football mainly on here, but on that point, it's interesting because people talk about the negative impacts of football a lot, but there are a lot of positive impacts because whilst it may be you could say Bournemouth are a smaller football club. I don't think that's unfair to say.
No, it's not.
But the impact it has on that town, like, not many things will make the locals happier. And that shows there are a lot of positive impacts because I think a lot of the time football gets bad press because of fans and stuff and violence or whatever, but there are a lot of good things.
Because I think for the first time in their history, Bournemouth is the South Close club in the Premier League. It's not Brighton.
Definitely.
It's not Southampton. It's Bournemouth for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, Justin Kluivert now has more goals at St James's Park than Patrick Kluivert did. And of course, Patrick Kluivert played for Newcastle, so that's a hell of a statistic.
I've never heard that before. That's
You know,
incredible.
So Kluivert with another hat-trick, as you said.
How many is he on now for the season?
I want to say it must be.
I think it's about 8. I looked it up.
Oh, it's 10. Double digits
10,
now.
wow.
I don't know
Double
who-
digits.
I don't know who just said this, but someone said Cliver and Havertz, not Havertz, Haaland has proved that footballers' sons can actually play football.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course they
Yeah.
can. Justin Kluivert. He's played in all 5 of the top European leagues. I think it is, or a
Yeah.
decent few of
And
them.
Obviously, like with Evan Nilsson now out injured for a long period of time,
Yeah.
as well as NSU now,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to need him to step up, and he's doing it
Yeah.
clearly.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Manchester City hit Ipswich Town for 6.
Yeah, well, I watched that game on the stream. They were just phenomenal.
Yeah,
It wasn't the fact that Ipswich are bad, because I was watching the first 20 minutes. I don't know when City got there first. I think it was just after 20 minutes. But
Yeah.
the first 20 minutes, they looked quite even, both teams. Like Ipswich were getting forward. In fact, Liam Delap had a chance. He got into the box, cut it back, and he could have shot, but he got blocked well. I think it was by Ruben Dias. But then after that, when City got there first, Ipswich just crumbled, and City looked the side that they always have been.
yeah,
You think they're back now? Like, for
Yeah,
long, or-
they're
I
getting
mean,
there.
I do think Ipswich had a really bad day. I mean, you can't have a good day and lose 6-0, obviously. But they were particularly poor by their standards, I think. But City were unbeatable. I think Liverpool would have struggled against them. How they
Right.
played against Ipswich.
I think the next 3-4 games will really decide for me whether Manchester City are back to that level, even though they did obviously just win 6-0. They got PSG away tonight. They've got Chelsea at home on the weekend. They've got Club Brugge at home in the week, and then Arsenal versus Manchester City on the 2nd of February.
And
If
they've got
they
Chelsea,
come
they've
through
got
that
Arsenal.
run and get let's say they get 3 wins.
I think
out of
I
run,
think really though they'll be looking
that
for
would
4.
decide.
They'll be looking for 4.
I think they could pepper this Arsenal team.
You
Do you
really?
think?
They,
It's at the Emirates, isn't it, though?
What
It is at the
threat do
Emirates.
Arsenal pose on the? I don't see a threat they propose on the front unless we get a corner.
Right.
Or you sign a striker.
Like, you know what I mean? We had a full force squad against them at the start of the season. We were holding out, and we still couldn't hold out then.
He had 10 men, to be fair.
Yeah, but
though.
now I think we have less composure than in 10 men back then. Like, back then,
Yeah.
we wanted to hold it. We really wanted it, and we just couldn't do it. But
You've
now
got
we haven't
Partey
got-
right back, have you?
we haven't got. I don't know what's happening there. We haven't got a striker to pose a threat for City. The midfield is kind of looking a bit. I don't know, they're looking a bit uneasy now. That they're not as composed. They're kind of making wayward passes. And then, as good as Saliba and Gabriel is, they're coming from the wings now and then getting it through the middle. They're not directly going through them.
Yeah.
So I could see this
Mhm.
being a like 3-4-0 generally.
I mean, that would be absolutely mental. You do keep on bringing up the striker position, obviously. Kai Havertz is the top goal scorer for Arsenal this season. Do you think he is the biggest problem, or do you think it's more the left
Yeah, but he
wingers
should've-
potentially not stepping up and contributing
He
to
should have
enough
had
goals?
a lot more.
But I think
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
I do
issue.
agree.
It's like with Nunez. He should have had a lot more.
Yeah, but I also think Kai Havertz offers more in the build-up.
I think
He
Kai Havertz-
reminds me of more a centre-forward rather than an actually out-and-out striker, and I don't think he's necessarily like a creative 10 either. He's sort of in between for me.
But it's just the way Havertz, when I see he's shining when there's a ball coming into them, he's holding up the ball, he plays it to someone else. He's not a guy to run through as a striker, cause a threat and shoot, really.
Right.
The only time he's really done that was City in the final of the Champions League. Great place to do it, to be fair.
Yeah.
But he's not been doing that for Arsenal or for Chelsea really since then. But he does hold up the ball well. He'll win headers, win 50-50s, but especially if he's right in front of goal point blank, he is missing a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
This-
you could make a highlight reel of misses against Man United.
This
Genuinely.
is why I'm saying Cunha, perfect fit for Arsenal, because he's not a natural number 9. He's more of that kind of, because he's been playing in 10 for Wolves
He
throughout
has,
this
yeah.
season, and obviously Arsenal don't really play a natural number 9. You'd say, would you?
Not
It's more
really.
like a false 9.
Yeah.
That's why I think Cunha would just fit it so well, and he's obviously got that finishing aspect that Havertz doesn't have every game, if that makes sense.
If he was 5 years younger, I would recommend for Arsenal someone like Chris Wood, who will literally just finish every chance he gets.
No.
No, well, no, but
Babbling.
he's obviously he's the most clinical striker in the league. He's too old for Arsenal by now, I'd say, because he's not going to do it for many more years. But if he was 5 years younger and playing how he is now, I'd say Arsenal should
Yeah,
go
but I
in for
don't
him.
think he would fit. Even Chris Wood 5 years ago, he wouldn't fit Arsenal's system because he's very much. Because obviously Arsenal like that kind of player to drop in, help, and I don't think Chris Wood is that.
I guess.
Yeah. No, there's one more game I want to talk about. Chelsea, of course, finally ending their run of 5 Premier League games without a win, beating Wolves by 3-1. Trevor Chalobah straight back into the side, gets the man of the match. What a performance from him, I
Could have
thought.
had a goal as well.
Yeah, should have had a goal, and Cole Palmer should have had an assist
Exactly,
for the
yes.
FPL.
Do you think that
Oh.
Noni Madueke stole it? Because I did think that originally when I saw it, I was like, why has he touched it? That's just like being a bad teammate. But then I've seen another angle, and I don't think it was going in. I think if Madueke hadn't touched it, it might not have gone in.
Oh no, he said after the game, Noni Madueke, Chalobah comes straight over to him with the celebrations, like, why did you not leave it? It would have been a goal for me. And he went, oh well, that's what they pay me to do. Like,
I don't know
I
if
need the goals.
I don't think it was going in though.
Genuinely, you don't think?
They showed the
looked like it was
replay from
going in.
they showed the replay from the side angle. I'm not sure if it would have blazed across goal. If I was Madueke, I might not have touched it as much as he did, but I'd have at least been standing by the far post waiting to tap it in if it didn't go in, because I'm not sure it was.
I think no matter how certain a goal is, if there's a situation where you can guarantee it, you take it.
Yeah.
That's what
It
I
might be
agree.
selfish, and the other player might get like pissed off at you. But if you can guarantee a goal, it's better than like
Yeah.
just risking it.
Yeah, that's how I think Madueke thought. I think he saw it how I saw it, in the fact he was like, not sure if that's going in, I'm going to hit it. Because
Right.
you may get some stick from your teammate, but would you not rather make sure that you're going to win the game?
Yeah. No, I do see your point, 100%. Reece James, free kick goal last week. This week, I mean, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Cunha really struggled, didn't he?
Gone a few games without injury.
Yeah.
That's quite good for
How many-
Reece
how
James.
many
Quite
more
good
is
for
he
Reece
gonna
James.
last?
I'll give him
hamstring's
2 more
holding up.
games.
I reckon he might get injured in training this week.
They just got to try and manage the situation. But we all know he is a top fullback when he's
Yes.
when he's fit
Yeah.
and he's playing,
Yeah.
and he was exceptional, like down that right hand side. Cucurella scoring as well, getting on the score sheet.
Still don't like
Go-
him.
goal
Hate
for
him.
him.
Dewsbury Hall assist.
Yeah, I saw
It was the
yeah.
worst assist I've ever seen. He was trying to head it towards goal, and he scuffed the header, and it went across the goal
I mean,
and landed at Cucurella.
you could also argue though the ball into the box, right? If Dewsbury Hall doesn't flick that on, it doesn't actually go to Cucurella, so he doesn't get the
No.
goal. So
Yeah.
I think it's quite smart actually.
It
from him.
was. I mean, Dewsbury Hall is that kind of player though. If he knows he can't score and he sees someone running in, he'll pass it.
Yeah.
Like there was against West Brom last year. He was running through on goal, like he was 1-on-1, because we'd won the ball from a corner in the 94th minute, and we just
Yeah.
sprinted
Harry
up the
Winks'
pitch.
goal.
Yeah, but he could have shot. Like Dewsbury Hall easily could have shot. He saw Harry Winks running in, and he thought, well, he's got a better chance than me, and he passed it across. He is smart like that. He'll make those
Yeah.
decisions rather than being that selfish player who goes for glory every single time.
Yeah, Robert Sanchez had a day to forget, didn't he? With that
Yeah.
that error that Matt Doherty just went ahead and pounced upon.
Mm.
We've spoken about Sanchez a lot this season. I actually don't think he's had that bad this season, but
They need better.
that wasn't great. That
They
wasn't
need
great from
better.
him on Monday, was it?
No.
It's all a ploy by Leicester having Mads Hermansen injured, or else Chelsea would have signed him.
I mean, I think it's a perfect time to move on to FPL this
Oh,
week.
do we have to?
We're going to have to. And out of us four,
I
let
don't
me
know
have a
what
look.
Liam's score was.
Liam, how much did you get this week?
49.
49. So Jamie got 32 points this week, which
Oh,
left
no.
him bottom. You know, he's currently 64th in the table.
Which is bottom.
Yeah, he's just there for vibes, you know. As Kean's next with 38. Run us through your team.
Well, obviously I've been having good weeks, but this week's been rough. Matt Sells got me 1 point. Olaina got me 4, got an assist against Southampton. Vardio got me 6. Robinson got me 8. Lewis Hall got me 4. So my back line was actually fairly good.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a decent week.
And then Salah got me 3. Luis Diaz, brought him in, and he's done nothing since. He got me 3. Palmer got me 4. He was my captain. Morgan Rogers got me 1. Nicholas Jackson got me 2. And Alexander Isak got me 2. But then we move on to my bench. Kepa Arrizabalaga, 3 points. So better than Sells.
Yeah.
Jan Wisser, 2 points. Antoine Semenyo, 5 points. Milos Kirko, 7 points.
Oh.
Big points lost there.
That's not ideal. That's not ideal.
I keep doubting Semenyo against big sides, and he always performs against them.
Yeah. Henry was next with 40 points. He currently sits 17th. And then it was Dan with 43. Tom got 46. And Matt was next on 47.
Yeah, so I had only 4 players really who returned. So I had Fabianski on 2 points. Trent got me 11 points. Gradio got 6 points. Wan-Bissaka and Poro both got 1. And Buemo, Palmer and Ahmad all got 2. Salah got 6 because he was my captain, but he didn't return either, really.
Yeah.
Wood got 12. And then Isak, who I bought in to make sure he wouldn't break Vardy's record, got 2. Because I knew if I bought him in, he wouldn't score. Because that's how it always
That's
looks.
such a good
If I bring a player in, they won't do anything. So I was like, I'll bring him in
That's-
for a week, and he won't score.
That's why I've not brought in Chris Wood all year. You'd
Yeah,
think I brought
exactly,
him
yeah.
In, but it's
Yeah,
like,
I can't believe you don't have Chris Wood
well,
in your
I
FPL as a
can't
Nottingham Forest fan.
I know if I bring him in, he won't score. So I'm not willing to sacrifice
I just find that
my club's
Yeah,
points for
I
my FPL.
Yeah.
I just find that mental, like how well
can't-
he's been
I
doing.
can't
It's
do
like-
it. I
Very
just can't.
selfless.
When
act,
Vardy
though.
got into
Yeah.
worse form this season, it's when I brought him into my FPL. I had Vardy in for 2 game weeks, and it was 2 game weeks where he started playing badly.
Oh, right. Next up then, Liam.
They bring on. So we got Sells in goal to carry on the vibe of players doing bad when I bring it in. I brought in Gabriel, he got 1 point.
I brought in Gabriel this week.
Oh.
I got Ena, then I got Veltman, who got 2 points. Semedo got nothing. I don't know why he's in the squad. Palmer got 2. Smithrow got 11, so it's good. And Bueno got 2. Hudson-Odoi got 6. Watkins got 8. And Harlan, my captain, got 12.
Yeah, had a good week.
Well,
Still having
at least
Haaland
that-
in there,
yeah,
interesting. I
yeah.
don't know many people who've still got
No,
Haaland.
yeah, a fair few people do still have him. They're still holding out, and I mean, he's not done badly in the last few weeks. I don't think he's got a
No.
few goals. I mean, Ubaid got 53, Reece got 57, and then this week I managed to get 66.
Oh,
so
you're catching up to me.
I had a good week. I mean,
You're not
let-
far.
let me have a look how many points it is. It's 41 points. So if I get
Yeah.
another good week or two, then maybe.
I'll just say if no one knows, I'm still top.
Yeah,
In
you are
terms of us.
ninth out of everyone.
But
So
top out of us.
top out of us lot. Matt Sells got me 1. Robinson got me 8. Alexander Arnold with the 11. Of course, he got the assist and the clean sheet. Lewis Hall 4. Gordon got me 2. Palmer, my captain, got me 4. Eze got me 6. He got an assist in that 2-0 win against West Ham. Salah got me 3. Isak got me 2. John Philippe Mateta got me 13. He's
Your
been
Palace boy,
wow.
he's been
Cooking.
superb for me since bringing him in. I think he's scored in every game I've had him so far. I think I've had him for 2 to 3 weeks, and he's just been banging the goals in. And then Chris Wood, of course, got me 12. Munoz got 6 on the bench, which was a little bit unfortunate. But then again, I'd rather have the attackers on the pitch because they're more likely to score than to keep a clean
Yeah.
sheet. So
Yeah.
all in all, pretty decent week. I mean, I wish I captained Chris Wood. My dad captained Chris Wood, and
I
went for
thought
Palmer.
about it. I did think about it, but I just thought Salah would have a good game. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Well, I was very close to captaining Wood because I thought he'd do well
I
against
keep
Southampton.
Haaland as my captain to pray he scores a random hat trick. That's my
yeah.
hope of him.
I mean, the fixtures for next week: Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest. Brighton have got Everton. Liverpool have Ipswich. Southampton have Newcastle United. Wolves have got Arsenal. Manchester City are at home to Chelsea. Crystal Palace have Brentford. Tottenham have Leicester. Aston Villa have West Ham, and Fulham have Man United. To me, surely there's only one captain for this next game week.
Oh, yeah.
Mo Salah
Yeah.
against Ipswich at home. I think that's surely he's going to get
He's
back
got
to
that-
scoring
He's
form.
my
no?
one.
He's got that double game week coming up.
He does as
Yeah.
well.
And I've
Yeah,
still got my
Bournemouth,
triple
Bournemouth and
captain
Everton
to
away.
Do you guys have any Spurs players in your team? Because if so,
No.
this is a perfect time
No.
to captain them.
I'll tell you what, the best game to watch, I reckon, will be Bournemouth Forest this week.
Oh
yeah,
100%.
and I'll be
yeah.
there, and I'll be.
Is it at 3 p.m. though?
3
Yeah,
p.m.
3 p.m.
kickoff.
That's so annoying.
Yeah. There's
I'm nervous.
there's 4 games live this weekend. Manchester City against Chelsea at 5:30 on Sky. 2:00 kickoff for Crystal Palace versus Brentford on Sky as well. And then to end off Super Sunday, Aston Villa against West Ham on Sky. But for
Which-
some reason, TNT Sports are having Fulham Man United on at 7:00. They've done it once or twice this season, haven't they? The 7:00 kickoff on a Sunday.
We should mention that Aston Villa West Ham will be a live watch along on our TikTok page.
It will be
With-
that it
with me.
will.
Good
with
plug,
me.
good plug.
That it will, and Manchester City Chelsea I think we'll definitely find someone to
Yeah.
do that one 100%.
Can we
That's
get-
going to be a
can we get
massive
Obey
one.
to do a stream.
Get who to do a stream?
Get Obey.
Get Ubay to do a stream.
Ooh, we
Yeah,
might
when
not
he
enjoy
when he
that.
gets back, We're going to get Ube to do a stream 100%. I think he's
Happy
up for it.
days.
I think he's keen. But on that note, that is the end of episode number 20 of The Gold Show. If you have enjoyed, please make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the Blue Podcast Network, and go check out all of our other socials. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you then.